All right, guys, gonna go over the good, the bad, and the ugly when owning a Matrix. Owned it roughly a little over 4 years. As you can see, mine is kind of modified. So I won't go over too much of that. I'm just kind of going to go over the basis if you were to want to own just a regular Matrix, non-modified, I guess. Mostly I'll be going over that stuff. The one I do own is a 2004 Toyota Matrix XRS. So I'll go over some of the trim models. This is the XRS. There is a base. The base will either come with a 5-speed or a 4-speed automatic. You'll be able to tell the base. It will have non-color painted handles, so they'll be black. So whatever color you have, if it was gray, it'll be black handles and black mirror caps. So these will be black. You would also not get the valances. The valances, like the body kit in the bottom part, this part right here, you wouldn't get the side skirts, and you would not get the front balances on the bumper, which make it like a lower ground effect. Don't mind the splitter that's added, but yeah, the basically the chins and the centerpiece. Which makes it lower. That will come on the XR model. So the XR model comes more with those and with power. The base one, some might come with the power package. XRs will come with power windows and locks and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm not going to have it a really long video, but I'll try to trim the fat as much as I can. And same transmission, same everything. Options: 5-speed manual and 4-speed automatic as well. Those do come with the 1ZZ engine, which have about 130, I believe. 130, yeah, 126 or 130, I forget what it is. On the XR and the base model. You also have the XR, which came in all-wheel drive. Not sure how well it is. I'm pretty sure it's fine if you live in, like, you know, snowy states. You drive it in slushy, I'm sure it does fine. I don't think it's comparable to like Subaru or anything like that, but all-wheel drive is definitely going to help out with a little bit rougher terrain, you know, when you're kind of dealing with dirt or, you know, snow or anything like that. But this one is the high performance model, the XRS. It has all the trim pieces, painted caps and mirrors, as well as the 1ZZ, which is the base on the XR and the all-wheel drive. They come with drum brakes. The XRS comes with rear disc brakes. It also comes with a different engine, a 2ZZ engine, as opposed to the 1ZZ. And this engine is tuned by Yamaha. So the big difference you can tell with the 2ZZ, you have a metal intake manifold, or aluminum. I'm not sure if it's aluminum, but the 1ZZs will have a plastic one. They look different. And this one is stamped. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it is stamped on the side right there, Yamaha. And what makes this special is it's a high revving output engine, similar to like VTEC. It has dual overhead cams, and a second cam activates once you hit about a little over 6,000 RPMs, and this will rev to the moon. Let me see, put the key in there. So you can see the red line is after 8,000 RPMs. This one says it will do 160. It won't do 160. It tops out like 135, and you know, you got to kind of really give it the beans to get there. But yeah, so over 8,000 RPMs. Second cam activates after 6,000, about 6,200. And with that, You get variable intake and exhaust timing, and that gives you roughly about 50 more horsepower than the 1ZZ. So 50 more horsepower. The 2003 came with 180, 2004 came with 173, and then the next 2 years they went down so many more, I think down to like 164, due to smog emissions. This 04 has the smog pump, so it's down a couple horsepower from the 2003. So, you know, if you want the most powerful one, get the first year of 2003. They ran to 2006. If you want to get this car and try to get a little bit more power out of it with the 2ZZ, you'd want to get the 05 or 06. Those ECUs are flashable, and you can get them tuned with that. 03 and 04 have an immobilizer on the ECU. You cannot flash tune them. You can't do anything. You'd have to run a standalone ECU if you care, you know. So I don't want to get too sidetracked on that. Let me pull out some of my notes. So yeah, 2ZZ, about 50 more horsepower. All right, so we got the differences: base, XR, XRS, all-wheel drive. Some of the pros, well, with the XRS you get a 6-speed manual. 03 came in 6-speed as well. The 03 was the only one that had the optional automatic. Very rare, uncommon. It had the automatic 2ZZ, which are like in the Celica. But 04, 05, and 06, which are the ones that came with the 2ZZ, had 04 through 06 or manual only 6-speed. So very cool for 2004. 6-speed was kind of uncommon. You didn't really have too many cars that, you know, for like in the Matrix, I guess, category type of cars. I think the Z had it, maybe the SI, I'm not sure. I don't even think the SI had it. They were still 5-speed, but 6-speed. Some of the other things, tons of space inside, tons of space. You can see it's kind of the roof line runs up quite a bit, so there is tons of space inside. Lots of headroom. Cargo room with the seats up is decent. But if you don't have nobody in the back, these seats fold completely down and you get like 6.5 feet completely flat. Cargo cover, not the best. That's kind of a con right there. So, but pros. Headspace, it is pretty utilitarian. So I've seen some people make some camping vehicles out of here. There's plenty of space. You can literally sit up in there with the seats down. Let's see what else. You got adjustable tie down straps, or tie down mounts right here, and as well as on the back seat there's these anchors that you can go and place, which are holding my my cargo storage mats. But yeah, you got cargo mounts all over if you want to put some tie down straps. What else? Let's see. One of the cool things in this you don't really get out of a car that's 20 years old, now it's kind of more common, is like a house plug. That's pretty cool. I use that all the time, whether it's for a phone or whatever the case is. You can get 100 watts out of this thing. It's not a 3-prong, but you know, basic house plugs will work in there. If they're 2-prong. Room in here is pretty decent. So I got a little bit of room right here in my legs, another inch right here, so you can kind of see where I'm sitting at in relation. So if I was sitting in there, how much room is in the back. And I still got plenty of room back here. Headroom is good. I'm 5'11", so I still got a few inches right here. So if you're like over 6 feet, probably 6'4", you might even still fit in here, no problem. One of the cool things about the passenger rear seat, folds completely down. Sit back here on your lunches or whatever, you're taking a trip, There you go. You got a table, you got a desk. Bust out the laptop. Let's see. Bust out the laptop and you can get some work done. Very cool. Or eat your lunch or whatever the case is. Brought the laptop just for that. So, and it's hard shell, so if you drop anything on there eating your lunch, wipe it down. Let's see what else we got. So pretty decent room, like I mentioned. 3 full adults. Not with me. I'm all the way to this line, which leaves that much for the middle person. So in a pinch you can put 3 adults, 3 good sized adults in a pinch. Not for long. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. 2 full adults in there, no problem. 2 husky adults, no problem. 3 kids, 3 teenagers, no problem. So yeah, it's pretty roomy for the size of the car. Let's see what else. One thing I do like about this is, aside from other hatchbacks, like say the Focus or I think the Jetta, I don't think those hatches open. So this one, you get the hatch that opens separately. So if you don't have this cargo mat, you can just like toss your groceries in there without having to open the whole hatch. Pretty cool. 2nd generation Matrix does not get that. Sorry guys. Some of the other things are, it's easy to work on. So if you're learning cars, maybe you want to save a few bucks, learn stuff, YouTube, and save yourself some money, or just, you know, you really like working on cars like I do and save money as well. Really easy to work on. 4-cylinder, this 4-cylinder, everything's pretty easily accessible, and parts are pretty inexpensive as well, since Toyota. And since it's Toyota, you're not going to be breaking parts that much. It does have that Toyota reliability, which is a plus. I have a plate right there, but spark plugs right there, oil cap, alternator, starters down here, right under there. 40 minutes to replace. I have aftermarket filter, but it'll just pop off. Change your air filter. Everything's easily accessible. It's really nice, really nice. The community, another thing, you know, I guess outside of the car, the community is very helpful. There's other communities, I won't get into specifics, but there's other communities. You ask a question, you're just gonna get a lot of rude comments, you're gonna get called names or whatever. For the most part, Toyota community, if you go onto the Facebook pages, forums, they're pretty helpful. You know, they'll send you down the right path. They'll answer your questions. I always do that too. People always hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or my YouTube channel and ask me questions, suggestions, whatever the case is, and I'm always willing to help. Definitely, you know, I like to kind of showcase this unappreciated car. I love this car. It checks off a lot of boxes on what I want, you know, not just a sports car, not really a sports car, it's sports oriented, but 6-speed manual, high revving, that's pretty sporty. Tons of room, literally put the seats back in there, throw a washing machine in there if you gotta, you know, pick one up, it'll fit in there. I think even the hatch will close with it. Let's get to some of the cons, and they're really kind of rarities. So with the 2ZZ, you have an open oil pan. So if you're really running it hard on the corners, low on oil, you can starve the pump and there goes your engine. So that's one thing right there, is that I don't know why they had an open pan. It wasn't baffled. The 1ZZ, the lower models, had the baffled pan, which are interchangeable, so that's an easy fix. Get a 1ZZ pan from the junkyard, 10 bucks, or just get a new one for, I don't know, under 100 bucks, depending on what you get. And there you go, easy fix. But if you're doing normal driving, no problem. I've taken this thing through the canyons many times, you know, going through the corners. I never had no issue with that, and I still have the open oil pan. One of the other things, like I mentioned, this cargo cover kind of sucks. It's really cheaply thought out. It folds and can be put away into like a little open storage in the cargo tray, but they're just like hooks with straps on there. I guess it'll hide your stuff. It does what it needs to do. It's just very cheap, you know. It's loose. I don't like it, so that's an annoyance, you know. Another thing is, because it is pretty wide open, it is a small car, you have a lot of road noise. What I did recently, I'll put a picture. I did some sound deadening mat in the whole trunk area and a little bit on the fenders. I'm probably going to add some on the door, and it'll really quiet it down for a little bit quieter, smoother ride. But yeah, you get some interior noise from the road. It's not atrocious, but it's noticeable. So that's one thing I'll mention right there. Let's see. The one thing I don't mind the way they look. The AC vents, the circular AC vents, and they spin 360 however which way you want. But this was kind of a 2000s design, and what sucks is they loosen and they don't hold very well. So if I were putting the air on full blast, if I want it like that, they'll just blow open. You know, they're kind of loose. You can buy replacement ones. I don't think there's any way to tighten it. There's no screw that tightens it. It's just loose over time. So really they won't just stay open or closed. And because of this design is one of the other things that kind of sucks. If you want to put a phone mount on the vent, these are not the vents. If you want to add a phone mount, it really sucks. I don't like the ones that stick onto the windshield, the suction cups. They always fall off when it gets warm. And what else? I didn't want to use the cup one, the one that goes in the cup holder, because then you're losing the cup holder. So I went with this aftermarket Panavise one. It mounts to like where the radio is inside the bezel. This is the best one I found. This one ran me about 50 bucks altogether, and it swivels 360, tilts back and forth. I love it. So one thing, yeah, sucks to kind of put fun in here unless you like the suction ones. That's really only your best bet right there. What else? Cons. Aftermarket support. If you really want to get into this car, there's not a lot of aftermarket support as far as, you know, hooking it up and modifying it. There's still some OG body kits out there. They're pretty hard to find. Really, I like the factory one. Looks pretty good to me. But they do sell some aftermarket ones. They might still even make replicas. Nobody really runs them too often, but it's cool. You know, it's kind of more of a 2000s tuner era. I think it looks good from factory like this with the valances. But aftermarket support, spoilers, very hard to find. This is a rare piece right here. The one I had on there before, the APC rare piece, they do make replicas. If you look at my video of common questions that get asked, I put all the details in there where you can find a replica to get. But there's a couple other ones like ATS. So to really getting any type of aftermarket spoiler, aside from the ones that are on eBay, that are just kind of like almost a TRD style, yeah, good luck on that. Carbon fiber hoods, they still make some, make them new. Just like two companies, I think VIS and AIT are the only ones I think I know that still make them new. You're gonna pay $1,000 plus tax, so you're looking at $1,000 for a carbon fiber hood. You know, selection, you got a good selection of coilovers, so I'm not gonna bag on that. Trying to think what else. Aftermarket support, engine mods, like I said, 2ZZ. If you get the 0304, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money because it's non-tunable ECU. 0506 is what you want to get. You can send that in, get it tuned if you have exhaust, bolt-ons. Anything more than that, you're gonna have to run standalone if you want to turbo it. a lot of money if you want to get power out of these things, and you don't even get that much power. So I mean, I hate to rag on it, I'm sorry, you know, I love this car, I love this platform, but you get a little bit of power for a lot of money, you know. 300-400 horsepower if you're turboing it, and you're spending like 7 grand. Just the ECU standalone is like 2 grand alone. Turbo kits, you get into all the extra stuff, it is twice the value of the car. So for me, it's not even a thinkable thing for me to do. I still kind of semi-daily this car. I want to keep it reliable. So that's, yeah, aftermarket support is almost non-existent. All the parts that you see out there, they rarely pop up. Some people don't want to part with them, they keep extras. Let's see, some interesting facts. Here's one right here. Running on 20 minutes. Oh man. Let me see. Get this up. If you didn't know, the Matrix is technically a Corolla. All right, here we go. Toyota 2004 owner's manual, Corolla Matrix. So I think they just did that for sales purposes. And technically, I mean, it is Corolla. They do sell, a lot of parts are interchangeable with the Corolla of this generation, the 2003 to 2008 Matrix and Corolla generation. A lot of parts are interchangeable. Interior pieces, some interior pieces, engine pieces, they're interchangeable, suspension pieces. But yeah, I think they did it strictly for marketing purposes, so they can say they sold more Matrixes, I mean more Corollas. But I mean, it is a Corolla. Now the hatchback, the new ones go under the Corolla name, but back then they didn't. It was under Matrix, and they are related for sure in my eyes. I think most people would agree. The Scion IM was kind of its new one, and then which turned into the Corolla hatchback once they got rid of the Scion. Other fun fact, oh, there we go, cool. Don't see any cup holders back here, right? It's like completely flat. There's a window. It's kind of funky that the window switch is right there. Cup holders, fold out cup holders, pretty cool. Can't really put anything too big in there, but that's a cool thing right there. Got a little pouch right here, you want to put something in there, cool. This side doesn't have it because of the hard plastic right there. All right, trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's all kind of what I got in my notes. Oh, you got a stick shift. These are not as smooth as Honda. They're notchy. Mine's more notchy because I have this aftermarket one, and my bushings, I need to replace my bushings, but yours won't sound as notchy as this. But 5-speed, 6-speed, they're pretty notchy. They're not like Honda got the best game down for shifting. That those shift like butter. It's good, no problem with this. It's very notchy, which I like sometimes, and sometimes I don't. So it's kind of a hit and miss, double-sided blade for me. Aftermarket, discontinued, long discontinued part. That's the theme here when you go into aftermarket. Some parts are just not in development. They do make a replica though on Monkey Wrench Racing. This is the old school TWM. They make it without the logo, basically a flat plate. I think that's about it. So there's some pros that I went over, some cons, really annoyances, annoyances really. Some facts. Oh, fun fact, its twin, the Pontiac Vibe, if you didn't know, is more JDM than the Toyota one. During their collaboration with GM, they used the Pontiac Vibe in Japan instead of the Matrix, which was called the Toyota Volts. So pretty freaking weird that they went with that decision. So really, these are built in Canada. The Vibes were built at the old NUMMI plant where Tesla's at now in California. So the Vibes are American, built in America, but have more JDM roots than the Toyota Matrix because they were actually sold. The Vibe was sold as the Volts in Japan, which is almost cussed right there, ridiculous. So really, this is not a JDM car, nothing really associated besides the 2ZZ engine, which I guess you would say is JDM. It's pretty cool. And yeah, aftermarket parts, like I mentioned, headlights, there's not very much options. There's a few, they're almost all the same. There's no company that makes projector headlights, made for LEDs or HIDs. You're just gonna get aftermarket halogen ones. They don't make lip kits for this car. This is a lip kit from STI 0607. So some things you just kind of make work for you. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I went over all the things. This is just getting a pretty long video. If you're still around, man, let me know if you watched the whole thing. I really didn't expect it. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. Maybe do a quick little drive right now. We'll see what's up. Thanks, guys. Yes, I parked at some random warehouse close by. Second cam activate right now. Watch, let's see. 5.5, 6. There we go. Sounds like a motorcycle, dude. Oh! Oh! Ran over a snake. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I ran over a snake.